Welcome to Blockwatch. Imagine waking up tomorrow, turning on your console, and realizing the massive digital game library you've spent literally thousands of dollars building, it's not actually yours. And worse, you've been secretly manipulated into overpaying for years. We're talking about a massive tech heist hiding right in plain sight. And the craziest part is, millions of gamers never even noticed. So it brings us to a really terrifying question. Do you truly own your digital assets? Or are you just trapped inside this centralized ecosystem, basically renting data at a premium price that's completely dictated by a monopoly? I gotta tell you, the reality here is incredibly fragile. Recently, one of the biggest giants in the gaming world, Sony PlayStation, quietly agreed to a multi-million-dollar settlement. A settlement over this exact illusion of ownership. But hey, that is not the whole story. What actually went down behind the scenes is basically a masterclass in modern monopolies and how you and I end up paying the price. Part 1. The digital monopoly illusion. Okay, to understand this trap, we gotta look back a bit. Remember game-specific vouchers? These were those physical retail cards you used to buy at places like GameStop, Best Buy, or Amazon. You'd scratch off the back, punch in the code, and boom, you got a digital game. And the beauty of this system? Retailers actually had to compete. They offered sales, they offered deep discounts. Consumers literally had a choice. But then on April 1st, 2019, the trap snapped shut. That is the exact moment Sony quietly phased out these game-specific vouchers. They just pulled them from retail shelves entirely. And from that day forward, if you wanted a digital PlayStation game, you had exactly one place to go. See, before April 2019, retail competition kept those prices low. The open market was actually working. But after April 2019, Sony completely controlled the only store in town. They locked the doors and became the absolute sole gatekeeper. And without retail competition, prices for digital games artificially spiked. Just like that, the free market vanished overnight. Part 2. The multi-million-dollar settlements. Fast forward to 2023, and a massive class action lawsuit finally calls out this anti-competitive trap. The result? Sony agreed to a $7.85 million settlement just to make the lawsuit disappear. That's almost $8 million meant to compensate players in the US who were overcharged during this whole lockdown. So, a massive win for the consumer, right? It sounds like David finally took down Goliath. Justice for digital gamers everywhere. Well, hold on, because what happened next absolutely shocked everyone. Here is the really dark reality of these types of lawsuits. Take that $7.8 million. First, you subtract the massive lawyer fees. Then, you divide the leftover scraps among millions of eligible players. So, what's the actual estimated payout per person? A devastating $1 to $3. Yeah, you heard that right. $1 to $3 for years of being forced to overpay. This tiny penalty isn't even a punishment. I mean, for a corporation the size of Sony, $8 million is literal pocket change. It is just the cost of doing business. They overcharged millions of people, and the fine is just a tiny fraction of the massive profit they generated from running that exact monopoly. Part 3. Are you owed money? Now, even if it is just a few dollars, how do you actually claim your piece of the pie? Well, to qualify before the July 2026 deadline, you have to meet 3 incredibly strict criteria. Number 1, you bought a digital PlayStation game between April 2019 and December 2023. Number 2, that game was previously sold as a physical voucher. And number 3, its average price increased by at least 50 cents after those vouchers vanished. And guys, we are not talking about obscure, random indie games here. We are talking about massive, system-selling titles. God of War, The Last of Us, Bloodborne, Destiny 2. This price manipulation was widespread across all major genres: action, RPG, sports, you name it. And a list just keeps going. Over 100 titles are actually eligible. Persona 4 Golden, No Man's Sky, Until Dawn. If you bought literally any of these digitally during that specific window, you almost certainly paid the Sony tax. Part 4. The cost of doing business. So let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture here. This whole situation sets a terrifying precedent for all centralized tech monopolies. As the industry analysts over at Push Square summarized so perfectly, quote, "The cold, hard reality here is that Sony's likely made much more than $7.85 million by eliminating game-specific vouchers," end quote. They essentially just bought the right to operate a monopoly, and they got it for a staggeringly cheap price. Which brings us to the ultimate cliffhanger. If Sony was just dragged to court over a digital storefront lockdown, Are giants like Apple and Google next? I mean, think about it. They operate the exact same closed ecosystems on your phone. The war for who controls and who prices your digital life, it is really just beginning. Thanks for watching the video. If you like our video, please like and subscribe our channel.